Hey everyone, it's Heather Nichols, and today I'm going to share how I created this 4th of July card using the new Starstruck products. Introducing the new Starstruck set. This is our first stamp stencil and clear combo, which means the set has a red rubber background stamp, 2 stencils, and a clear set that you can use together to create a multicolored design. I'll also be using the coordinating Starstruck die collection. For the Sentiment on Me project, I'm using the Mini Strips Patriotic stamp set and the coordinating Mini Strips die. I'll be using some silver glitter cardstock. For ink, I'm using Sugar Cube, Blue Corn, Cherry Pop, and Toffee. I'll be using my blender brushes. I have some from the original set and also my white blender brush. I'll be using Pixie Spray with my stencils, and then for adhesives I'm using the Scrap Perfect Best Glue Ever, some foam squares, and foam sticky strips. I'm starting off by stamping the bold star background. That's the red rubber stamp. This stamp is trimmed so it's easy to line up with your cardstock. So I'm going to set that in my MISTI, close the lid of my MISTI to pick up the stamp. I'm going to set my piece of cardstock directly on the stamp and also add some adhesive to the grid paper. And then I'm going to flip my MISTI closed upside down, and that will transfer the cardstock to the grid paper inside the MISTI. I'll ink up my stamp with Blue Corn ink and then close the lid of the MISTI to stamp the image onto a piece of toffee cardstock. I stamped the image one more time using Blue Corn ink on a piece of Sugar Cube cardstock. Next, I'll add the stenciled images over the background design. I'm starting off with the star stencil. The name of the stencil is on the top left-hand corner, so you know that you have things the right direction. Once my stencil that's sprayed with Pixie Spray is in place, I'm using my white blender brush to apply Sugar Cube ink through the openings on the stencil. The second stencil features splashes or starbursts that come out from the sides of the stars. I'll arrange that over the top of my design, and then I'll use my blender brush to apply toffee ink through the stencil. Next, I'm taking 3 of the patterned stars from the clear stamp set, and I'll be stamping those on a piece of Sugar Cube cardstock. Since these are clear stamps, I have my foam insert inside my MISTI, and I'll set those stamps where I want them and close that lid to pick up the stamps, and I'll ink those up with Cherry Pop ink and close the lid of the MISTI to stamp the stars onto the cardstock. I'll use the coordinating die from the Starstruck die collection to cut out the 3 patterned stars with my Sidekick machine. I'm also cutting out the stars that I stamped on Sugar Cube cardstock using the outline star dies in the Starstruck die collection. Now these do not line up completely perfectly because the stars and the background have a distressed edge, so they're going to have a fun kind of whimsical and imperfect look. I'm just laying the die right over the top of the stamped star image and then sending it right through my die cut machine. I die cut some star confetti with silver glitter cardstock using the small Star Trio die from the Starstruck die collection. I'm stamping the Mini Strips Patriotic stamp onto a piece of Cherry Pop cardstock with Sugar Cube ink. I'll line up and stamp the sentiments in my MISTI, and then I'll cut out the mini strips with the coordinating Mini Strips die. Alright, now it's time to put this card together. I'm attaching my star background to a Sugar Cube card base. I cut out some additional outline star die cuts and I'm stacking those up. Each of them has 3 layers total, and I'm gluing those together with the liquid adhesive. Once I have them put together, I'll use liquid adhesive to attach them over the smaller bold stars on my card front. Next, I attached the stars that I stamped with the clear set into the centers of the larger stars in the background. I used foam squares that I cut just a little bit smaller to pop the stars up on the card front. I used liquid adhesive to add a silver glitter star into the center of each of the smaller bold stars on the background. I chose the Happy 4th of July sentiment from the Mini Strips Patriotic stamp set, and I attached that to the card front using a foam sticky strip. The final touch on this card is small glittered stars scattered throughout the whole card front. I'm attaching those with liquid adhesive and the help of my Crystal Katana tool. I hope you enjoyed learning how I created this patriotic card with the new Starstruck Stamp, Stencil, and Clear combo set. You can find the Starstruck products and the other supplies that I used to create my card at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone, and I'll see you next time.